Hi, friends. I want to make a couple of remarks about Chapter 2 in the Brackley book before you get going, or after. I think a couple of the concepts are so important to the whole course, and they're not necessarily intuitive. Uh, the title here, Free to Love, is a whopper concept of its own, and I wonder if at the end of the chapter you'll know what is meant here. An early quote in this chapter is from Dorothy Day. To respond with love to a world which seems to have gone wrong in fundamental ways, a broken world, we must get free to love. We need to find a way to love better and over the long haul. By Dorothy. What does that mean, free to love in a different way? Have similar things been said by Gandhi, Martin Luther King, and others through time? Here's an example of Dorothy's work. You see that she's situated herself in front of two strong armed men protesting something, some justice issue over time. A different way to move mountains, a different way to make change. And this cost Dorothy some convenience and some risk. She was jailed a number of times. Another concept is the theology and the theological language of Ignatius. Brackley speaks about this and the need to sort of update the language to make it intelligible to contemporary audiences and thinkers and Christians. Sometimes the language of Ignatius, especially when he talks about the dark spirit and, Satan playing games with us, we have to remember that he was a 16th century priest and living in a very different world, and that sometimes the literal mythic language doesn't resonate with us like it might for people some time ago. In fact, not long ago, even 2 generations ago. This language might have seemed perfectly intelligible, but human beings, he would say, are created to praise, reverence, and serve God our Lord, and by this means save their souls. I'm not sure we're so mindful of saving our souls anymore, or if most people would say the most important reason they're alive is serving God. But I bet they would say this. I bet they would say that human beings attain their highest potential, their highest possibility, their ultimate fulfillment, personally and collectively, by learning to love. That is pretty sensible, I would think, to most people. A favorite priest of mine I had in high school and is still a friend used to say that good theology has to be good psychology or we should be suspicious of it. And the good thing about Ignatius' spiritual exercises, his understanding of the human person, similar things echo everywhere in modern psychology and discernment and finding our way. Ignatius was onto something centuries ago which are timeless. How do our good desires or our good inclinations become disordered? What the heck does that mean? A couple of thoughts about that by way of example. Winning in our culture means so much, doesn't it? Striving to win can bring out the best in me and in my team. We speak of it. But if winning becomes overly important, dangerous outcomes can result, like cheating, bad sportsmanship, and exclusion of less talented athletes, which can really spoil the team dynamic. That doesn't interest me, especially on my golf team. Perhaps you've seen this corrode an athletic experience if it means too much to win. Eating healthy foods and exercising, what the heck is wrong with that? Very good self-care. They make me feel and look good. But what if looking good becomes too important? Dangerous outcomes can result, like vanity, eating disorders, self-criticism. None of these things are good. If it becomes too strong an inclination, it can become disordered. Working hard to provide resources for the family is the American way. Some people become workaholics, though, and they sacrifice precious time to be with their kids while they're young. I will not forget. Luckily, my kids were young when I heard it. A student said to me, "Oh, my dad works so hard. He provides so much for our family, and we have this great lifestyle and all that. But what I really wish I had that I don't is a dad. He has missed all of my games, all of our weekends. And that was a really sad thing to hear a child say. So that I thought, that's what Ignatius means when he says disordered inclinations. If the money and the accumulation of things means too much, other more important values get pushed aside. My golf team recently had a dilemma thrown at them, and that is that graduation was placed exactly the night of our state golf tournament, 3 hours away. The parents found this out. They were frightened to death. The students were given the choice. I gave them the choice to think about it, and I was not going to impose any pressure upon them. It was theirs to decide what means most. We have decided already as a team that winning is not our most important objective, that our development, our team camaraderie, and our sportsmanship, those kinds of things matter more. So here's a chance for me to prove what I said, and said I honestly will accept either answer. The boys chose to golf. They're going to skip the all-night senior party, which means a lot to them, but they devoted so many hours to this goal that they share of winning trophies. There's the league championship trophy there, and they have been state champions recently. They just believe that the kind of time commitment, it's just been too great for them to back out of it for a party. You know, the girls, on the other hand, every time we go somewhere, as you can see in this picture, it's just exemplary of every match. Their main joy is not the winning. They don't go high-fiving themselves on the way to the car if they win. Their joy comes from their company, their camaraderie, their sisterhood. And who am I to say they're wrong? They've taught me a lot over the years. Our girls chose to stay for the senior party and to forgo the state golf tournament. Now, years ago, I would have been a tyrant and said, what are you talking about? You know what we're about here. How can we win in golf, and how can we grow as a golf program if you prioritize parties? That would be so silly of me. They have wisdom that I need to keep in mind to keep things in their proper place. How do I know if my various desires are ordered or disordered? That's for you to figure out, but it's a good important question. And what personal attachments or fears of mine could be preventing me from making my best choices? This is the subject of the year. All in all, what we're hoping for is to habitually learn to choose what brings us into the light, which gives us more life energy, more satisfaction, more long-term happiness. And it is an art, and Ignatius will show us some ways to do so. And I hope you enjoy this chapter as well